Let me first of all extend our profound gratitude that this series is today hosted here in the soil of Bayelsa State. And so I welcome you all to this series that has been on, but for the first time being hosted by the government and the people of Bayelsa State. We are honored, we are delighted to see such diverse and distinguished audience comprising policy makers, scholars, activists, and change makers, all committed to advancing democracy in our continent. I look forward to your insights and very robust conversations. By leaving your busy schedules to be in attendance, you have cast a vote for the principles that underpin this event. And let me quote, "No man is good enough to govern another man without that other man's consent," in the words of Abraham Lincoln. When all is said and done, democracy really is about votes. Allowing people to vote, counting the votes, and making the votes to count. Our gathering here today to participate in Democracy Dialogue Series strengthens the foundations of democracy in Africa. The critical role of the right foundations cannot be overemphasized. Permit me to illustrate my point by pointing out that the foundation of this magnificent building that we are all gathered in today was laid by the former president of Nigeria, President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. However, the government that succeeded him, the government of the immediate past president, Buhari, started putting blocks on the foundation. And today, we can all see a magnificent building that has today brought all of us together here. And for me, that is akin to democracy. People must lay the foundation, and when the foundation is well laid, then the building blocks can now start. If we build the right foundations, we will leave legacies that transcend us. By his own exemplified conduct during the 2015 presidential elections, President Jonathan wrote himself into the annals of history as the father of Nigeria's modern democracy. In accepting to host this very important event, I am aligning myself with the ideal so famously expressed in his immortal and immutable words, that his ambition is not worth the blood of any Nigerian. That democracy today should be about ballots, not bullets. It should be an exchange of ideas and convictions. That is why I often say, those who kill you to rule you cannot mean well for you. The theme of this dialogue signifies the tremendous progress we have made in strengthening democracy in Africa. It acknowledges the groundbreaking efforts that have brought us thus far and challenges us to push the boundaries of our achievements even to the further. It is a call to action, urging us to explore innovative approaches, share best practices, and collaborate on new strategies to promote democratic values and principles across all the nations of Africa. And the timing of this conference could not have been better. The recent epidemic of military takeovers in the sub-region has woken us rudely from our sweet dreams that Africa has come a long way from an era marked by oppressive regimes and limited civic participation. This re-emergence of this malady should be a source of concern to all of us. We as politicians and the chief drivers of the democratic culture cannot completely absolve ourselves in this matter because we inadvertently create the environment for such behavior. Lack of fidelity to campaign rhetoric and underperformance serves as a catalyst that can potentially ignite a larger problem. Again, campaigns of calumny and our seemingly inability to have different opinions or views without resorting to being argumentative towards each other sends wrong message to the polity. The introduction of armed non-state actors in political contest poses a greater threat to our democracy than even the military. And I say this with all sense of responsibility because we have well-armed non-state actors across the length and breadth of this country and indeed in Africa. And unless we insist on building strong institutions capable of resisting the antics of the so-called strong men, more and more countries will be infected by this virus. The antidote of the rise of accountable leaders, vibrant civil societies, and engaged citizenry who shape their own destinies and demand transparency, justice, and equal opportunities. But we will not be pessimistic. The dialogue provides us with valuable platform to share experiences, exchange knowledge, and learn from one another. Together, we can definitely define and innovate solutions and harness the power of technology, collaborate on effective strategies to bring about lasting change in our nations. The discussions and insights generated here today will serve as a roadmap for action, guiding us towards a brighter future for democracy in Africa. At this juncture, I want to extend my gratitude to all the participants, speakers, and panelists for taking the time to be here in Bayelsa State, the heart of the Niger Delta. Your expertise, experiences, and diverse perspectives are invaluable assets as we engage in this critical dialogue. I encourage each and every one of you to actively participate, seize this opportunity to build networks and foster collaborations that will contribute to our collective mission of strengthening and deepening democracy in Africa. While democracy provides a solid foundation for growth and development, it requires continuous nurturing and vigilant protection. We must remain committed to upholding democratic values, defending human rights, and promoting equal opportunities for all. We must work together to strengthen democratic institutions, safeguard the integrity of elections, and enhance citizen engagement and participation. By doing so, we can ensure that democracy remains robust, adaptable, and relevant in the face of evolving challenges. Once again, I would also like to express my sincere appreciation to the organizers of the Democracy Dialogues, the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation, for their unwavering commitment to democracy development in Nigeria and indeed in Africa. Their dedication to creating spaces for dialogue, knowledge sharing, and capacity building is commendable and deserves our recognition. On November 11th, 2023, this year, Bayelsa State will be going to the polls with 2 other states in Nigeria to elect new governor. I hope I have done well enough to merit their endorsement for a second term. The decision, indeed, should be theirs to make. I mean the people of Bayelsa State. Sadly, some of our opponents do not think the people of Bayelsa are entitled to their choice and are resorting to violence, intimidation, and brigandage to subvert the will of the people. I am inviting you all to come back here as observers in this process. In order to gain access to the ocean and tap into the ocean's abundant resources, we are actively and ambitiously expanding our road network across the 3 senatorial districts of Bayelsa, each of which leads to the Atlantic Ocean. I sincerely hope that by the grace of God and the will of the people, during my second term, you will consider returning as investors to benefit from these opportunities that are abound here in Bayelsa State. In closing, I am very confident that through our discussions and collaborations, we will break new grounds in the democracy development nexus in Africa. Africa is indeed breaking new grounds in the democracy development nexus by prioritizing inclusive and participatory democracy, strengthening institutions and electoral processes, embracing constitutional engagements. Although challenges persist, the commitment of African governments and civil society, coupled with regional and international cooperation, signifies hope for a more democratic, accountable, and prosperous future for our continent of Africa. Together, let us build on our achievements, address the challenges, and forge ahead towards a future where democracy, justice, and prosperity prevail across the continent of Africa. Thank you, and I wish you a productive, robust, and an enlightening dialogue. Thank you all.